In 2016, thousands of TF2 accounts were erased in one vac wave because of a single cheat client, Lmaobox. In that video, I want to come back from the origin of that cheat. How did it survive for years while people thought it was vac proof? What really happened during the ban wave of 2016 and how did it end up being part of the bot plague that nearly killed the game? So let's rewind the story and see what's actually hiding behind that name. So what actually is Lmaobox for the people who don't know what it is? Well, technically it's what people call a multi-hack for TF2. It's not a script, but basically it's an external client that injects into your game and open up a big friendly menu of "you really shouldn't do this." You had some features like aimbot, ESP, wallhack, backstab, auto blast, crit hack, backtrack. You had the whole package, and it was not just something you would find on a random page of a random website. It had its own website and you had a free version for it with a basic feature set, and you had a premium version around $20 that promised auto-fund options and supposedly protection against vac. And the funniest part is kind of like the honesty of the dev about it. On the free version page, it basically says, yes, you can use this only on non-vac servers, so even him is like, if you launch it on official servers, that's on you. So you were basically ending up with a product where you had a free version, very loud, disposable, and kinda like an Instaban bait, and you had a premium version who was a serious version, where people were convinced that it was safe to use on the main until 2016. For a few years, Lmaobox lives in this weird comfort zone, where vac existed, and in theory it was scanning, banning, and doing its thing, but in practice, from the player perspective, it was looking more like a smoke break or smoke screen. And during that time, you would have two parallel universes. In public matches, you would have the classic clone show with spinbot snipers, heavy looking at you through the wall and double tapping you, and the chat getting flowed with Lmaobox promotion. And in competitive scene in TF2, especially in some UGC divisions, you would have the exact same client, just used with a more subtle setting, to not say closet cheating. You would have some tiny aim assist, some ESP was used to look more legit, and it was enough to give you informations, but not enough to look like you were cheating. Or at least it was way harder to spot that because the reviews were made with via demo. And because vac doesn't immediately obliterate every Lmaobox user, a myth slowly built up. The fact that the free version was trash because it was detected quite fast, but the premium, well, premium was basically undetectable, and vac could not see it. Some people cheated for months, even years, on their main accounts, and nothing really happened to them. And the human brain being the human brain is as if you were playing Russian roulette. 10 times and you survive each time. So if you were surviving each time, you would basically have that small and false sense of security to say that the gun is safe because you shot 10 times in a row and nothing happened. And that was exactly the vibe around premium Lmaobox before 2016. Then we hit late April 2016 and suddenly vac get out of bed, they push an update, and in basically 24 hours TF2 get one of the biggest ban wave it ever seen. And the numbers are pretty brutal. In terms of competitive, we have around 467 accounts who were connected to the league, and just in UGC who were banned. 168 of those were actively rostered and got dropped and banned. So that's not just one or two clones, that's basically entire rosters, and in those, there was someone named Vlad who was quite famous in the competitive scene. There was also some winners from platinum, silver, or gold medals. And in terms of casual, it was around 3,000 accounts who were banned by Valve. And you want to know the best part of that? It's the timing. Because at that time, Valve didn't have to ban you on the same days that you cheat. It was quietly logging detections, waiting, and then it just dropped all the bans at once. So you could end up with posts like this on Reddit, where people were complaining about the fact that they only used it for months or months ago, that they stopped already, so why they were banned, or they just tried it in a private match. But the logic here is a coding logic, and it's a binary logic. So, and it's just as follow, Did this account just run the cheat client at any point in the detection window? If it's yes, then okay, goodbye, you are banned. So overnight, you just had high-level UGC teams who lost their snipers only because of VAC ban, you had medals and titles who were questioned or revoked, and you had casual players losing their main account and inventories because they believed that the premium was safe. That ban wave was allegedly possible thanks to a person named Miggy, who found on GitHub a link to the Lmaobox code floating around the forum, and instead of quietly enjoying his new toy, he just emailed it directly to Valve, explaining that Valve didn't seem to catch it. And once Valve had actually the code, it was just game over, because they could just see exactly what function to hook, what signature to leave in memory, and then they could just tune Valve to look for that specific cheat. And that's probably the major ingredient of the 2016 ban wave. After 2016, the situation was completely flipped. Before, you had the premium Lmaobox, who had this aura of the fact that Valve couldn't touch them. And after that ban wave, it has the complete opposite. Valve has detected it. UGC and news sites literally publish lists and counts of Lmaobox users, and as a whole, the name itself became radioactive and like a joke, even in the legit community. But from a technical perspective, if you check it, the cheat didn't disappear even today. If you check the official website, you will see that there is still a premium version for sale, a free version with the same giant warning of use, and a changelog that keep mentioning compatibility with the latest TF2 update. So overall, the cheat still exists nowadays. The issue with Lmaobox would be how and on what it was made. You see, Lmaobox was made using an existing framework named Darkstorm. I already made a video about it, so I invite you to go check it out if you want to. But to short it, Darkstorm was a framework made by a cheater who wanted to, cheat. So it just decided to create its own things, and it was allowing other people to create their own cheat with it. And since Lmaobox had some area component into it, and you could do some coding with LUA, you could just basically modify Lmaobox to suit yourself more like in a better way. And that's kind of the issue, because if you are going on GitHub and type Lmaobox LUA, you will see exactly what I mean. There is like project.com, Lmaobox navbot, medbot. It The issue with all of that is the fact that you could create some bots with that LUI API. Basically, you create some automation system on and automation functions on a lot of things, and it's kind of like some peculiar project in World of Warcraft where like you had some priority queue rotations who were scripts made for classes and who was allowing you to basically compete with top DPS and top PvP players just because you had a script made by someone. And I think that's was the issue, and it just played a big part in the bot crisis in my opinion. Now to kinda conclude, if you were playing back then, I'm curious about like your opinion, like what did you saw? Did you like wake up one day with some of your friends backband, or did you had match where like every of the snipers was disappearing? I would love to hear your stories about like those events of the bad wave of 2016 if you were there. And yeah, it was malatos. I hope you guys kinda enjoyed that video. I know I don't know how to really conclude it, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and to conclude also, there is still that small speedrun event I will try to make. I kinda already have the cheater members for it, and now I will need the legit members to go and try to form a good team around them. So if you are interested to like try to do some sort of scrims of MVM with me, just let me know and I will see what I can do. Anyways, it was Matos. I will see you in the next one.